Hey everybody, it's Jason Wood from 11 O'Clock Comics, and this is Comics on Shelves for the week of Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Let's be honest, some weeks we have to dig pretty hard to find 5 books that we're super stoked to pick up, and then other weeks it's jam-packed, and I'm happy to say this is one of those weeks. There were easily 12 to 15 books I could have put in this list happily, but rules are rules, so here are the 5 books that I'm most excited for. There was no way that Superman #1 wouldn't be on this list. DC is embarking on somewhat of a new reboot called Dawn of DC, and the titular hero is back with a new #1 written by Joshua Williamson with art by Jamal Campbell. I am a massive fan of Jamal's art. For those of you that aren't familiar, you will be blown away by his iconic stylings. It's a perfect fit for Clark Kent as he returns to prominence in his own book. We bounce from DC over to arch rival Marvel Comics. We have just one Marvel pick this week, but it's a great one. Immoral X-Men, #1 of 3. Yes, it's yet another in the Sins of Sinister event. So far, every issue has been a banger, and I expect this to be another one of the same. It's written by Kieran Gillen with art by Paco Medina. For those wondering, yes, Paco Medina did the art for all #1 issues of this first Sins of Sinister month, and then he will be handing off the baton to a new artist next month. He's joined by Walden Wong on inks in this particular issue, and J. David Ramos is back for colors. This, of course, is the book that has been known as Immortal X-Men, and for the next 3 months will be called Immoral X-Men. As you can see from the cover, there are serious shenanigans going on as we look 10 years into the future after Mr. Sinister pulled his gank move. This has been one heck of a month for UFO enthusiasts. What with the Chinese spy balloon and then the Air Force shooting down some mysterious flying objects that President Biden said were not, in fact, spy balloons. Anyway, lots of craziness going on out there in the skies. And James Tynion IV, pretty much one of the it writers of the moment, is joined by Michael Avon Oeming, who it's great to see back doing a regular book. They are teaming up for Blue Book #1 from Dark Horse Comics. And what's cool about this is, yes, it is a UFO comic, but it is a quote-unquote true UFO comic, meaning that they are taking tales of real-life UFO abduction stories, starting with the very famous Betty and Barney Hill abduction and turning it into a serialized comic story. So it's like a non-fiction fiction book, I guess. Either way, this creative team should give us a lot of great stuff. They're both masters of their craft and should be a fun topic. I try my best not to put the same comic on the list each and every month, even if I'm loving it. But sometimes exceptions have to be made, and for as long as Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples are gifting us with the majesty that is Saga, it's going to be on this list. Issue number 62 is on the stands this week, and as always, I expect it to be one of the best comics I read this month. If you've listened to our podcast at all in the past, then it should be no surprise that Local Man #1 is my final and most anticipated book of the week. This is a debut new series at Image Comics, co-created by our great friend Tony Fleece and our good friend Tim Seeley. They are pairing up to both write and draw this comic in flip book style, as one tells us a current story featuring a former hero that's been shamed and now is back living at his hometown with his parents. And then we get a flashback issue drawn in classic 90s guns, pouches, and heavy action style that looks back at his time as a hero. It's a really fun concept, and I will tell you that Vince, David, and I were given advanced copies of this to read several weeks ago. So not only am I anticipating it, but I can assure you that this is an absolute home run. If you have any love for 90s era comics, and most of us of a particular age certainly do, this is going to feel like you're going home again. It's really creative, really well executed, and I'm super stoked to see it come to life after knowing that Tony and Tim have been working hard at this for a long, long time. And that wraps up the week. As always, thank you so much for your time. And please, if you like this video, remember to hit that like button. It really does help, believe it or not. The algorithms matter. Also, subscribe to the channel. It's free. And most of all, share the videos with your friends. We'd love to get the word out some more. But beyond that, if you like these videos, remember to check out our main podcast where you can get 2 to 3 hours every few days from David, Vince, and myself. We are fast approaching 900 episodes. Yes, you heard that right. 900 episodes, 15 years of breaking down all the great things about the comics industry and culture for you. And that is also free. You can check us out, of course, at 11o'clockcomics.com, where you can find those aforementioned almost 900 episodes for free in the archives. You can also check out our Patreon, which is the best way to support us if you end up being a big fan of the show, at patreon.com/11o'clockcomics. And last but not least, we are still very active and engaged in a well-moderated Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/11o'clockcomics. Once again, thanks for your time. I hope you enjoy the comics you pick up this week. And as always, I'll be back next week.